Well, let's get started with this here video. Hey, I'm reaching out to you guys. I need help. Of course, you guys know I've always needed help. I need you guys to want my video. If you do want it, fine. Get it. Sidewalku.thinkific.com. But right now, what's up to date? What's cool right now? I'm talking about something you could use right now, and it's gonna be usable until you probably die. See, because the one thing that I am positive of is I'm not dated. I'm not dated to the fucking times. I'm not dated as far as the year. I'm not dated. And it's because I use the what's not that don't have anything to do with dates. See, I use real game. It has nothing to do with dates. Although game will acknowledge times changes. Times do change. I believe I'm not dated. I believe I'm totally up to date with my shit. But what I know I am is a mature gentleman of leisure. When we were young and we heard that term, gentleman of leisure, man, we thought you had to be a special motherfucker to be a gentleman of leisure. Because leisure is whatever it is you want to do at that time, at that moment. It's the right thing to do, and that's what you gonna do. See, my curriculum as far as what I do at Sidewalk U may have changed from what it started out. But I have not changed one iota and am just as dedicated to what I'm chasing now. See, I haven't changed. My curriculum may have changed, but I haven't. I'm so much so the same, I'm rededicating myself to it all. Now, we all know someone that is, thinking beyond where you're at. And hopefully, hopefully who you know is as valuable to you as I am to who I know. See, that's the thing that you got to make sure about when you're, speaking to a mass of people. You want to make sure your points are valid and valuable. So, let me hit you to how an older motherfucker in the game told me to deal with an aggressive female. One time I was on an interview. I had this interview coming in. I heard the broad and the host, both hosts, male and female. I heard that they, really attacked whoever was being interviewed. So, I went and I sat and I spoke with those two hosts. It was a black man and a black woman. And they told me if I wasn't sure of myself, I could back out because they was going to go in on it instead of being afraid. I looked at them both and said, don't ask no goddamn questions that you don't want to know the truth to. So we started interviewing, and before long, the female host, she must have thought she was dealing with a sucker or something because she challenged me. She challenged me on some shit. First, I roasted. I can't let no fucking woman challenge me and really, really feel like I'm challenged. But now, if you want to challenge me and make me feel challenged on fucking with a woman, you know, I'll just let you know. If you keep talking to me, I'm gonna catch your ass right in front of this camera. This is the first thing you learn. Not the first thing, but among the first things you learn at Sidewalk University. And you learn how to deal with an aggressive woman. Because a lot of women are aggressive. I had all this planned out. Not before I went to the show, but after they started questioning me and saying whatever they were saying. I put a plan together because I saw where they was coming from. And I told that broad lady, if you keep talking to me, I'm going to catch your ass right in front of this camera. And what I'm saying is, I had already heard, how they go in on their guests. So I figured all I had to do was finesse that female host into a debate. So, I'm talking shit, and I'm thinking of this plan as I'm talking shit. And then I baited her, and she took the bait. And she started to challenge me about my being able to take her home or not. Because I said, I'll take 10 motherfuckers like you home, and you probably won't even realize how fast I did it. She took the bait and started to challenge me. The thing is about bait. You better motherfucking know how to fish once you cast your line. And I know all she had to do was respond to the suggestion of me taking her home. I don't care what her response was, plus or minus. Could have been negative as fuck. I wouldn't give a fuck. Because as long as I'm doing what I'm thinking, I know I'm leading and I'm handling shit. But I knew her response wasn't going to be positive. So she said, I doubt that. I'm not broke enough for that. Now, I knew I had her when she said that. So I said, you think a woman got to be broke to deal with me? Little lady, I done caught professors and women that were already rich. And she cut me off. Well, you can't catch me, she said again. I looked into the camera like I'm looking into it right now and said, you all are about to be privileged to witness a master player playing his motherfucking hand. See, at SWU, we learn not to indulge a female who's combative. You just tease them with statements that question their character, which will upset them. Yeah. See, you achieve getting them upset, you can have them. Now, all I had to do was get the motherfucker upset at me, then ignore her and speak to the male host as if she wasn't even there. So I told dude, you see, man, if you're a conversationist like me, you would know what to watch for, when you had a live with bitches. And he cut me off. He cut me off and said, "Hold on, man. You don't have to call her no bitch." This Captain Save a whole motherfucker chimed in, and I smashed it. Look, man, you asked how does a motherfucking pimp catch a potential hoe, and I'm catching her now as we speak. Now, if you notice, I'm very confident. So I told dude, man, look at her nostrils. See how they flared? That's excitement and intrigue, bordering on her taking her panties off right now. A man like me noticed that kind of shit. She then cut me off. I'm not excited. See, at SWU, we learn ignoring her forces her to interrupt your flow. When she does, she's no longer on her trip. She's fully enthralled in trying to trip me up in what I'm saying. But I'm much sharper than most. Definitely sharper than her. And she doesn't realize she's in quicksand. I looked at her and said, see, that's what your mouth say. But your body language and your eyes are saying something different. You do know I'm fluent in body language, don't you? Then I looked at that male host, to ignore her, that female host some more. And said, you see how wide her eyes are? Like she's on cocaine or some kind of drug or something. She's on something, all right. She's on my black ass. The fact I was ignoring her was killing her. I then looked at that black woman, who was a fine motherfucker, I'm going to tell you that. And she said, I looked at her and said, you would get paid on that track if you let me lace your motherfucking ass. She looked at me and asked, oh, really? How much do you think I can make? Right here, fellas, you got to understand. I got her. And you got to, you got to know when that fish is on your line. I do. And she's asking how much she can make. Now, as a fisherman, I got to know how to reel that bitch in. But I fish big. I don't just have this bitch on my line. I have the host and the audience all on my line at the same time. And I'm going to let them know that I knew it. So I looked into the camera and said, hey, now, besides her nostrils flaring and her eyes wide open, she is now asking me how much can she make. See, I'm a fly ass motherfucking pimp and all about how much could you make. That remains to be seen. But just so you don't get it twisted, I want the audience, and then I stared at the two hosts. I want the audience to see, here you have a sophisticated black ass motherfucking woman sitting on camera asking a pimp how much could she make. And you motherfuckers still want to believe I can't have this woman? Now, why y'all not calling in? I'm spitting all this motherfucking game. And I'm just really curious why y'all ain't calling in. 833-940-6085. Call in, goddammit. Let's kick this shit around. I know I'm giving you something to think about. Now, what I'm saying, the bitch asking me how much she can make. And you motherfuckers still got doubt. But at this point, the dude who said, you know what? Her nostrils are flared. And her eyes are sprung. Rosebud, I think she is interested in you. I smiled my all Ken Harry smile and said, trust me, she is. But I wouldn't mess with her with a 10-foot pole. I just wanted you all to see how fly I am. See, most people don't understand why, out of all the motherfucking people in the fast life, the pimp has been embraced the most. See, the pimp was the first black motherfucking person after slavery that said, fuck that shit. I'm as good as better than any other white man. See, you got to get the movie Cotton Club and see for yourself. Lawrence Fishburne was the pimp, and he was the first black motherfucker to walk into the Cotton Club through the front door. So what I'm saying, this is a club located in Harlem, starred black entertainers, but was run by white people, and only white people could walk in the front door. Now, what I'm saying is this. After Lawrence Fishburne started really pimping, he said, fuck that shit. You know, and the rest is history. I'm telling you, when he went, told everybody he was going in the front door, and he left to do it, they followed him and shit. They was begging him not to do it. Man, don't do it. I think his name was Bumpy or something like that. But what I'm saying is, they was begging him not to do it because he's gonna get killed. He said they're gonna have to kill me then because I ain't going in the back door no more. That nigga went in the front door, and the rest is history. You know, we've always been a symbol of real freedom to the hood. You know, I'm just completing the first month of this new system, and we done made great strides. All the students are, learning the ins and outs of conducting an engaging conversation. It's rewarding to see progression or the progression of a younger brother. Excuse me. Do you know what you should be looking for as far as learning the ins and outs? Something specific. You can't be learning the ins and outs and you just say I'm learning the ins and outs. Nah, that's too vague. You got to be saying you learning how to make a woman interested in your conversation. You know, by choosing particular words that she didn't use, and you use them in what you saying, but you make your point, which is totally different than her point. I mean, the fact that she's identifying with the words you're using is going to make her accept the conversation you speak. Now, it's really rewarding to see the progression of a motherfucker whose diction sounded like he was speaking with his mouth full of marbles. It's beautiful when you see what that motherfucker uh, actually does when he progresses. And when he make the progression, then he make the adjustment, his voice sounds charming. Practice make perfect. You know, I feel my position. And of course, I always felt that I did shit in a major way. Hold on. What is up with you motherfuckers, man? Why ain't nobody calling in? I really can't figure that out. You want to comment to each other like scary motherfuckers because you know who you comment to ain't gonna do shit but agree with you. You need to comment to me so I can agree or not. I knew I was a representative of a successful motherfucker in the game, but I haven't been in the street environment for over 20 years. And I'm proud to say I still have a lifelong respect from the major players of today. Now, I felt the adulation that, you know, the Rose Rush driving young motherfuckers have for me. They all had stories. You know, of course, I didn't remember them, but, you know, they had stories of when they was young and seeing American Pimp. I was an idol to them, an inspiration. And look at them motherfuckers now. I owned the world at one time, and now I own my little corner of it. But I see that I'm welcome and allowed with respect to come to their world of being, practicing motherfucking macaroni and still have respect. That's because even with all this shit I talk, no motherfucker has ever been able to, nor will they ever be able to, find a blemish on my motherfucking record. I earned all I received and don't know how many of motherfucking OGs respect what I'm doing today. And understand why. I haven't been ridiculed for trying to wake up the dead, as we used to say. And major players in parts of the game I was not in had the same respect for the effort that I was putting in. This is entertainment to them, fucking with the computer. Because most of them are dinosaurs and only rely on their minds to think. But to them, the computer is fun. I heard of you, but never had the pleasure of meeting you. I hear it no less than 100 times when I'm at functions. These are reputable men. I had to say the same things to them. We represent big game in a big way, and there's room for whoever is worthy to play. The Abadaba's Hall of Fame. I wonder what. I wonder what the Hall of Fame motherfuckers think. When they put one of their own to rest. I can only imagine they sit and think of all the amazing things the one that laying to rest did. From the day my nigga Doobie got on, he swore he would not do anything less than all he could to be what the fuck he wanted to be. And he did and was. That's why I love this game. I know when you look at, my YouTube page, you think you only need to see the newest videos. But you couldn't be more mistaken than if you had you had thought you had two left feet. Go through the archives and look at as many of them motherfuckers as you can. You may have heard me speak on the topic, but in all those videos, there's hidden gems about being what and who you want to be. They are not entertainment. And let me repeat with more emphasis. They're not entertainment. I'm a truly blessed man to be able to witness what I've seen. And what I've witnessed is what I live for. I see a total respect and awe of the power of this game. I went to the only real players' ball we had many years. I'm talking about Doobie's funeral. It was truly a going home for him. I saw pimps, real motherfuckers, drag niggas, paper hangers, gamblers, giant D-boys, lawyers, preachers, thieves, and players from every corner of the country. I met and reacquainted myself with the game I love. There were so many true representatives there, I was just amazed. And there were only enough tears. There was only enough tears shed to fill a fucking thimble halfway. I was honored to be there. Any of you today niggas talking about this 21st century game, go right ahead. I knew it, but I've been off the scene for many years, and I really had started to believe that soft bullshit you motherfuckers was talking. I've been reborn with a new belief. I saw no less than 15 young guns rolling Rolls Royces, and not one of them was talking that scary shit you motherfuckers talk. Each one of them had elevated their game and their position, but they all came from the blade. It was almost, well, not it. I was almost convinced y'all scary ass represented what was out there. You don't. And that's why I didn't see your fake ass at that motherfucking funeral. Every motherfucker who believes in this game and promotes its existence was there. If you weren't, what does that say about you? I know you had, some important business to do. some important business that you could not, miss, that you had to take care of. If you weren't there, that tells me you have no respect for the game. Therefore, from now on, you're a fucking non-entity. You don't exist. And whatever or whenever I speak to you, you'll need to remind me of who you are. A lot of you motherfuckers think that I think this information in my course is new. No, motherfucker, I don't think it's new. It's been around since the beginning of time, but its meaning was lost. So what I have that's new is an effective way of how to reclaim your motherfucking confidence as a man. What's new is that this shit works. Hey, look, I guess you're gonna realize at one point I'm crying, begging for you motherfuckers to call in so we can kick it, and you just won't do it. The number's 833-940-6085. You need to call in and tell me what you think about what we're talking about. Because if you don't, it's just going to be me preaching to you. I don't really want to do that. I want to kick it. So you're going to hear stuff from me that you swear you can use. And when it comes time to use it, you won't. Because you don't have the confidence to put yourself out there. You got to have confidence. You got to be willing to be wrong. So you motherfuckers don't want to be wrong. You guys all play safe. Shit. I have I have what you want in the form of eloquent words of wisdom, fully available to you. Now, I don't think it could be any clearer. Your life is not in some woman's hand. Your life is in your hands. And where you want to go with it is between you and God. Not one woman will make your life any easier or more complete. Women can enhance your well being in many ways, but none of them will complete you. What's missing can be found if and only if you look in the right places for it. A couple of years ago, I spent a day in Magic Johnson's park. Every year at that park, they had rides for peace. And all the local car clubs, motorcycle clubs, and bicycle clubs were involved. I'm telling you, it was really a beautiful thing to see. There was over 200 motorcycles, and all of them were so damn fly. And, you're the one to ride one. The Corvette Club had about 75 vets. The 64 and 63 Chevys was overloaded. It was about 100 of them. Then they had the trucks and the drop bikes. And these bikes raised up and down like cars. It was the bomb. The reason I mention it is I was seriously thinking about how I could do that shit in my hometown. I had a great time there. And people, let me tell you, there's a train coming. And I'm scheduled to be on it. I can only bring one thing with me, and I won't ever be back. Now, if I get on this train, all the things I know now will change, and my integrity will be even more valuable. I've been waiting for this train for a pretty good while now. And I'm getting a little nervous about getting on it. I decided to bring my desire to win with me. So I'm waiting. Given the fact that I can never return to where I am now, this is a little scary. But shit, I hear the whistle blowing in the distance. And I only have to a couple of minutes to make my mind up. I could see the headlights, and now this train is upon me. Damn it, I'm gonna get off. It's not often the train to success stops at your feet and offers you a ride. So I'd be silly not to accept, don't you think? From the very beginning of Obama's presidency, those fucking Republicans tried to make his presidency a non-issue. When people try to thwart your progress, we should do like Obama did those Republicans. Ignore them and do what you're supposed to do because in the end, it will come out. They never thwarted me or my belief in what the fuck we can do as men. I have always known that racism is alive and well in the United States. I don't need racism to end. I just want equal chances at getting wealthy for my family. Now, they hid it from people like me long as they could. But the more I look at life through the lenses I have now, the clearer the path that I should take becomes. Now, I am going to acknowledge that I got a video done, which is cool. But I just cannot understand why you motherfuckers ain't calling in. I know I changed, that could be it. I changed phone servers. That's why I got a new number for you to call in. But shit, you should at least call in, fellas. All right, I'm gone.